Good afternoon. Another episode today. Date with Tech podcast is back, and today I have a very interesting guest with me here. Let me welcome Mark Dymock. Mark Dymock is the operating partner at SC Ventures by Standard Charter. Mark, thank you for joining this episode.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Let me ask you first about the strategy and vision. SC Ventures is known for rewriting the DNA in banking. So how do you interpret this mission in your role, and what does it mean for the future of financial services?
Great. Okay, thank you. So SC Ventures was born from Standard Chartered, a bank with a long history and heritage.
And legacy.
More than 150 years, lots of legacy. But we were born at a time when it was clear that banks needed to change. Banks were disconnected from society, felt like they weren't really delivering on their purpose. Banks had become too big, too internally focused, not really engaging in what was happening in tech and innovation. That was kind of the genesis of SC Ventures. Rewiring the DNA speaks to doing something from the inside. A lot of what we do is to lead by example for the rest of the bank to follow. We've been set up to innovate new business models in areas that, for different reasons the bank can't go or won't go. So leading by example, that's new technology, new business models, also culture, new ways of managing ourselves. We've actually just published a book about the history. It's been 7 years now that we've been on this journey, and a lot of learnings in terms of how from the inside, how you start to rewire the DNA.
Excellent. You've emphasized on the importance of fintech and fintech ecosystems. So in the Middle East, what unique opportunities and challenges do you see in this region?
Maybe just to give a bit of context before I answer. So SC Ventures was born in Singapore, largely Asia focus. This is very much the growth area and the focus area for us now. I moved here last year from Singapore.
Oh, right.
A number of my colleagues have as well. The team is growing. We had 2 ventures at the start of last year. We have 8 now, based here. We have a fund which we invest into digital assets, which we've based here. So it's booming. Why is it booming? Lots to say, but the fundamentals really are there. So in terms of what's interesting us in the region, so first of all, as a global center for digital assets, for Web3 regulation, this really is, one of the best places to be in the world. So that's kind of big topic. Then SME. So here at the Dubai FinTech Summit, there are a lot of people trying to improve access to SMEs, improve SME access to finance. We think that's a big topic. SMEs, small businesses, are still not well served by the banks here. The nature of the Middle East means a lot of those businesses are international, from day one. They're small traders, they have their own needs.
Yeah, if I may ask you, what did you find mostly unique about this region, and particularly, let's say, talking about UAE, GCC in general, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and all the GCC?
Yeah. Look, I think how quickly it's changing. A lot of things need to keep up. So on another topic that we're very interested in, wealth management, it's very clear that the UAE will be up there with Singapore and Hong Kong in 10 years' time as a global center for, wealth management. But the infrastructure is not there. So, as a client, I experience that, you don't have the same depth that you have in Singapore, where I came from, for example. So that combination of the growth opportunity and everything required to meet it is what's really exciting.
All right. What criteria, if we talk about venture building and innovation, so what criteria do you use to evaluate the potential success of a new venture with SC Ventures?
Yeah, so we have quite a structured venture building process, at different stage gates. You start with market research, you get,
Right.
You go to your first validation to get some money, et cetera, et cetera. In terms of the criteria, the number one is client demand and client need. So have you validated this? Are there people who want it? The fintech is littered with people who have built amazing products that, they weren't able to sell, or they overestimated the demand for. I think now, I can't not mention AI. I haven't mentioned AI yet.
You should.
Yeah. So definitely, we are thinking very much about what business models are going to be impacted by AI, positively or negatively. Things that maybe before, an amazing product with amazing UX is going to be less relevant in a world of AI agents doing the financial services.
I mean, that's quite interesting, because I was sitting with someone yesterday from a big company, I don't want to mention the name, and they said like they have integrated and plugged in an AI, plugged in AI to investment, and then in one question you can ask that particular platform or application, and it can tell you, like, for example, I have $1,000, and it gives you different options how to invest, where to invest, and it can probably calculate, are you talking about something like this? AI, yes.
I think we're all going to engage with financial services a lot of the time through some kind of AI.
Actually, he defined this as the financial ChatGPT or AI platform. Mark, let me ask you a little bit about Middle East and Africa and investment strategy. So in your experience, what are the key factors that make a fintech startup an attractive acquisition target for SC Ventures?
So, look, the key thing for us is the strategic relevance to the bank, to SC Ventures, to the ecosystem. So is it something that we can see working, making a difference in our ecosystem? Do the experts we have access to, do they see it? The fintech businesses, and one of the key different challenges is the sales process. It's very hard to sell to banks.
I want to ask you about this at the end.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. Kind of thinking about that. Like, is this a a product or service that is going to be easy to buy, easy to sell into an enterprise? That's another angle.
If I want to ask you a little bit about leadership and culture, you've spoken about the importance of fostering an entrepreneurial mindset within teams. How do you cultivate the culture at SC Ventures? This culture?
Well, look, first of all, we've been very thoughtful about the people at SC Ventures. So it's a mix of people. Some are ex-bankers like myself. Some are startup people. Some are very different backgrounds, designers, etc., entrepreneurs. So I think that's an important factor, that mix. And it can't be all kind of people from outside the bank. It has to be a mix. It has to, be people who can speak different languages. I think the other thing is being, really very focused on it being okay to fail. Experiment, fail fast. That's something that occasionally we've taken too long to, to call it. But it's okay to try something, and I think that's been something we keep at and something really important.
Where do you see now the challenge? You mentioned one, which is the sales, but probably you can tell me more. Is this the only challenge that you face, and how you plan to navigate and overcome challenges?
So look, that's one. Everything that's to do with selling to banks is hard. We also touched on another AI, which is an opportunity, but also a challenge. It's disrupting some things that we built 2 years ago are already legacy fintech now. So you got to be alive to that. And if you're not thinking about how to adopt it, how to include it, you're going to lose out. The complacency is another connected to that. I think we've had some successes, but we can't let it go to our heads, I would say. Last thing I'd call out, there's so much entrepreneurial talent out there. as we grow up, we're 7, 8 years old now. We can't become like a big bank in its culture, right? We need to stay connected and alive to the ecosystem, and that's something we work on every day.
My last question is to you, and I want to ask you, as an individual, as a person, successful individual, Mark, what motivates you? What gives you more value in life? Is there also, I ask always in the podcast, many successful people like you, what made you reach to this stage, and what can you give me a summary and tell me who's Mark, and why you are here, and what are your core values and your motivational?
Wow, what a question.
Many questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions in there. Look, maybe to start with the first part of your question, kind of what got me here. I think if I reflect on that, of course I made lots of mistakes along the way, but I think the good choices were to do difficult things. Took on challenging projects, challenging situations, business situations that weren't necessarily going well. I think you learn the most then. I also think you learn resilience, which is hugely important.
Maybe agility.
And agility, yeah. And I think even if it doesn't feel like it, people do notice. So that would probably be my career advice in a minute. In terms of what motivates me, I love learning. I've always loved it. Incorporating learning into what I do, new technologies, new businesses, the sense of being challenged with something new. That's what gets me going in the morning, and I feel really blessed that I found a career where I can do that.
Thank you for being with us today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.